Hello and welcome to Noggin Comics. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about the MNCBA Fallcon.
Not that one. We just got the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four one.
There you go. That's a good one. Raise.
Yep. For $4 more, they'll just get.
You want me to do?
So every year, the MNCBA puts on Fallcon and SpringCon, and right now, last week, was this year's Fallcon at the State Fairgrounds. And if you're from Minnesota, you know that having a show at the fairgrounds is a pretty big deal. But to be quite honest with you, I'm not a fan of having shows at the fairgrounds. SpringCon, I wasn't a fan of, and we were there for one day. Fallcon's a 2-day show, and we were not the biggest fans of it being a 2-day show because it felt like you could see all the vendors in one day, and the panels, they weren't intriguing enough to keep it coming back. So I hope that MNCBA does a better job at this going into next year, as I feel like this is something that the community needs. As one of the admins for Minnesota Comic Exchange, I know we do a very good job at free comic book shows, and having a comic book show that you're paying a fee to get in, you kind of need to make sure you have enough quality and quantity, I should say, to bring people back in if you're going to have a 2-day show. That being said, we did get quite a big haul because these vendors had $1 books or giant sales that we cannot deny. So join us for this comic haul from the MNCBA Fallcon. Now the first thing we got is a free thing. Nora and I just got done watching The Black Phone a couple weeks back, Love the character of the Grabber. And Twin City Geeks was giving away free tickets and a free t-shirt of the Grabber himself. So if you're a comic fan that loves horror films, let me know what you think of Black Phone if you can see Black Phone 2 in the comment section. But beyond the t-shirt, everything else was comic book related. And the first person that we stopped off at, the first vendor, was Mark Harper. He is a pretty well-known vendor in the Minnesota area. He's always got great books. The week of filming this, he's doing a garage sale. But we picked up a few things that were unique, I should say. The first book we picked up is from April of 1997, and it is written by Joe Kelly. And it's the Juggernaut. Juggernaut's a character that, I mean, if you've watched the channel, you know we like X-Men. So if there is an X-Men character that has his own solo series, we're most likely going to pick it up. This next book is from August of 1986, and it is Doctor Strange 78. Now, not a huge Doctor Strange reader. I do like a few of his stories, but this is more of a Marvel Rivals buy because of Cloak and Dagger, and this is Doc got a new cloak. Doc gets a new cloak, and it's from Cloak and Dagger. This next one's kind of a funny buy. The art's by Mark Bagley, which instantly got me hooked onto it. But it is a movie adaptation of the 2003 Hawk film, right? And I don't know about you, but when this movie came out, I actually enjoyed it. I was a kid. I enjoyed seeing the big green monster on the screen. But as I get older, I've been reanalyzing the film, and I think I'm enjoying it more despite the CGI kind of being a little shallow. This next book we got is a trade, and I kind of read it backwards. So there's a prequel for this trade that I got. I read that one. I didn't really enjoy it, but it's based off a video game that I know a lot of us watching has played before, and that is Call of Duty. This is Call of Duty Zombies. One of those books where, you know, it may not be good, but I got it for like $7, so I really can't complain. And these next two, one's by, they're both, this one's from 1996, in March of 96, and it's got art by Bill Sienkiewicz and written by Chris Claremont. But the cool thing is though, it's like, it's not really a comic book, it is a story in comic book format. And this is Marvel Chiller's Bloodstorm. And you're going to realize this is something that we kind of come across a lot in the MNCBA Fallcon. As the second book that we got was from 1997. It was art by Liam Sharp and by Peter David. And that is Marvel Chiller's Shades of the Green Monster. So that was from Mark Harper. Now, after we went to Mark Harper, we stopped off at actually, funny things, let me go back here. Everyone that we stopped off at for comic books were basically comic shops you go to. Our LCS Issues Needed was there, and we'll talk about them soon. But a comic shop that's in Bloomington that is, honestly, it's one of my favorite comic shops in the state next to Issues Needed. Most Wanted Comics. We stopped off at their booth, and they had huge sales on their books, and it's kind of hard to say no when you have Tomb of Dracula, half off. You're not going to say no to Tomb of Dracula. It's only $10, right? So we're going to just kick off this tomb here. We got Tomb of Dracula 38 from 1975. Gene Colan, Marv Wolfman. Gotta love Tomb of Dracula. And then, we are slowly picking away at Uncanny X-Men. That's a huge commitment, and a lot of those books are pretty expensive. We don't have many of the early Uncanny or X-Men books in general. So we have X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 333 from 1996 here. I'm a sucker for any Gambit cover, so that was an easy buy. And then this book right here, this is an homage to Action Comics 1, but it features a character that Nora absolutely loved and a group of characters I'm getting into. And this is Fantastic Four 291 by John Byrne. It's She-Hulk doing the famous car lift from Action Comics #1. And then staying on Dracula, but not Marvel. This is DC. And DC actually did a Detective Comics from 1976. This is Detective Comics 455, and it is a vampire attacking Batman. Which we've had Batman Red Rain, Crimson Blood, I think it was called. But Crimson Rain, one of the two. Those were actually very fun reads. Batman stories. I highly recommend them, especially at Halloween time. That's usually when I reread them. But I didn't know this book existed, and talking about slowly picking away at X-Men. Detective, one of those things where we see early detectives cheap. We end up buying them. This book right here is, like I said, these are all half off, and this was one of the coolest books we found. This is well, it's not in here actually. This is Beware the Monsters. This is from it's excuse me, DC Special 11, Beware the Monsters. Didn't write down information on that because I think I was so shocked to find this book for $10. The interior art is amazing. Looking at it, I remember grabbing this book and thinking to myself, "Did they misprice this?" And they didn't. But at the same time, though, at that time period, I'm looking at this book, it was going through my mind. And then this book right here, I've been picking these up whenever I see them, and it's not because I'm a huge fan of them. I'm a huge fan of the cover art, and I know eventually I'm gonna get around to hopefully getting a good collection of these and actually reading them through. And this is Ghostly Tales. This is Ghostly Tales number. Well, it does not say. It looks like it says 56 up there, but I'm gonna have to double check that, and I'll let you guys. I'll fix it on the screen here. But Ghostly Tales, these books are fun to find, and I've been usually finding them in very beat up condition, and this is actually probably the best condition Ghostly Tales I found. This is actually Doctor Strange 12. We've got no Doctor Strange book here, and like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Doctor Strange. But this has got nothing to do with Marvel Rivals. This is just a cover by, and this is such a cool cover by Gene Colan. Now, been getting a lot of Tomb of Dracula, so Gene Colan's art, I instantly recognize it. And then going back earlier in the video, we were talking about Marvel Chillers. Well, here's another one. This is from 1997, and it's written by Larry Hama. And this is Marvel Chillers, The Things in the Glass Case, and it's an X-Men story. Let me know if you guys ever come across any of these, if you've read any of these. That was one of the first times that Nora and I were finding all these Chiller books that we had no clue what they were about. This next book is actually for my wrestling fans out there. Being in Minnesota, we actually have a guy, a local creator named Dave Viller, who works with a lot of professional wrestlers, and very good friends with Mike Kingston from Shoutout Comics, which ties into this book right here. If you've been watching, if you are an avid watcher of WWE, you know that these guys used to wrestle for them, and it's Matt Cardona and Brian Mays. And Matt Cardona, who used to be Zack Ryder, made an appearance at NXT. But this is Fig Story, guys. from Headlock Comics. This is their ash can for it. Now, the funny thing about this book is that Dave didn't work on the interior, but he did the cover for it. It's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And I think you can read it in Kingston's Headlock Comics. Behind the closet door there, I have all of his stuff. And if you're going to be at Twin City Con this year, I believe he's going to be there. And if you find me, just let me, be like, hey, where's Kingston? Point me towards him, and I'll show you exactly where he's at. Now, this one is interesting here because Issues Needed, who is our RCS, we go there every Wednesday, or Thursday if we can't make it on Wednesday, had an interesting sale going on. Everything at their table, everything on the tables, which they had quite a few tables, was $1. And as long as I've known the guys at Issues Needed, I have never known them to have dollar boxes at comic shows. So, color of surprise when we found the entirety of Weapon X by Jason Aaron. Ron Garney did some work on it, but the entirety of this series for only $1. And these covers are some of the best X-Men covers I've seen in a while. This ran from 2009 to 2010. I mean, that's a really good cover. It just reminds me of a horror film there. So as you can tell, like, this is the whole series for $16. And if you're a Wolverine fan and you went to the show and you missed this, I feel so sorry for you, but I'm glad that we got it. Love that. You know, if you've recently been on our Instagram page, you've seen I got a Nightcrawler tattoo, but I love this cover. That being said, though, like I said, he had dollar boxes, but he also had a back wall. And one of those wall books was Friday the 13th. But you see back there, we got all these horror comics, but we never saw this one before. And then we realized this is actually a series. And this is when Wildstorm did it. And Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray? Yeah, Justin Gray wrote it. So the majority of, we were on a limit. We got Twin City Con coming up and Confluence this weekend. But we were on a limit. So that book was our biggest book at $50. But like I said, though, we're trying to get all these horror icon books. And hopefully one day, those Funko Pops are replaced by horror comics. But yeah, after we got Friday the 13th, I'm like, okay, let's get back to those dollar bins. Well, let's be honest, I didn't see Friday the 13th until we started checking out. And I look back there, and Sam, who was one of the employees at Issues Needed, he kind of knew I was looking for these books, and I think he did this purposely. But let's get back on to the X-Men and X-adjacent teams that we got. And the rest of these books were $1. This cover was instantly, when Nora saw it, she's like, we gotta get this book. This is New Mutants #1 from 2009. This is a Ryan Benjamin cover. Nora and I were both suckers for anything New Mutants related. We love magic, and I think that was why Nora's like, okay, you can get whatever book you want, but we're getting that one. And then from there, I kind of went on a little thing binge. Got all of these. This is 3 through 6. Yeah. Absolutely love this cover. And then from there, we did a lot of X-Men Wolverine buying. You're going to realize the next 10 books, I want to say, are mostly all X-Men related. So, you know, started off with some Joe Kelly from 1998 in X-Men 77. Why not get 78 to follow up then, eh? It's a two-part series of War. So Joe Kelly again. And then, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, that we are huge Gambit fans here. So we had to get X-Men 81. Sorry for that glare. There we go. And then Wolverine 25. This art by John Buscema. This is just love that cover. And I figured why not get 26 to go along with it. The cover's not as good as that one, I'll admit that. 32. Wolverine 32. Yakuza fight. This is art by Silvestri, and I had to get that and another one that was Silvestri. Wolverine 40. These are written by Larry Hama as well. Funny thing is that I actually have this issue. So if you're going to be at Confluence this weekend, look for this in the free bin. I got this cover. I love Forge, and I did not check out ZOZ app to realize that we already had this issue. This is Wolverine 106. These are the books that Nora just started grabbing because she realized that the covers were amazing. $107. $108. Like I said, she kept going here. 109. Now this next one is me personally, I like Sam Keys. I've always been gravitated towards his art. And I seen this cover, which is pretty damn funny, and it includes two of my favorite characters from Marvel Universe, Wolverine and Ghost Rider. And this is Marvel Comics Presents 100. Just absolutely love this homage cover and the Sam Keys artwork. Oh. And I believe that's it when it comes to Wolverine and X-Men characters. The rest of this is just kind of the next three issues. I've got up to 3 comics here. Are cover buys or just cool ideals, basically. And this one was Superman 3 by John Byrne by 1987. I just like this Dark Side cover. And I realized at the show that I was picking up a lot of John Byrne. The next book is Marvel 2-in-1 from 1983, and it's Marvel 2-in-1 95. And you can just take a guess of why I got this cover. It's because of this thing. No, it's because of Living Mummy. Surprisingly, they never got this issue before. I'm getting a lot of Marvel 2-in-1s. And then I saw this book for $1, and then I'm like, okay, next time you're out of show issues, let me know so I can get more of these dollar books. And the final book ties into Marvel Rivals, ties into Fantastic Four, ties into the arrival of Doctor Doom in the Marvel Universe. And this is a Punisher 28. This is such a cool cover. Just love the fact that he's surrounded by Doom bots. But yeah, that was our haul. We also got a book that is currently not here right now. It is in the bedroom because I want to read it eventually. And it's from a local creator. It's called Of Death. And we've read issue 1 about 2 years ago. And we're going to be doing a review on his books coming up. As well as some local creator books as well. But I am glad you guys stayed here. If you guys have been here, please subscribe to the channel. We want to grow it. And hit that like button. That like button actually helps us grow the channel. And leave a comment. Just saying hi. We say hi back to you. You know, how's your day going, basically. But until then, we'll see you at the comic shop. See you at comic shows. Hopefully see you in the Minnesota area.